Hello and welcome back to my channel, and this is gonna be a rather short video, I hope, in regards to Ghost Recon Wildlands. Very good news for those who are actually interested in Wildlands in general. Dark Dally, I'm gonna link him in the description, is actually back per se. He is putting out Wildlands videos again, comparisons and tactics and stuff, and honestly, you should be watching that guy instead of me when it comes to Wildlands, because he knows these games in and out, and it's just so good that he's back. I do believe he was in a little break or not. Second of all, I actually ventured onto Twitch to see what people nowadays are on. And oh boy, was I not disappointed. People are playing this game still, and they are playing it like it's PUBG. So, after me stalking Twitch for roughly a week, I didn't see a single guy streaming Wildlands on Tier 1 Extreme no HUD solo, and I do believe there's a reason why. Number one, people are intimidated by this mode because it is unforgivable, or unforgiving, should I say, and it's just too much of a grind. I made the whole video about that. Second of all, people don't know how to play this mode since they are used to run and gun on arcade, and when the tier 1 mode kicks in, they just go like, oh, this is, unrealistic. So I'm gonna give you a couple tips on how to survive and progress in tier 1 despite the grind, and I hope it's gonna serve you well. First and foremost, I see that people in general gameplays are struggling with the jammers. So I actually picked a spot, and there's a drone jammer here. So since I'm playing with no HUD, marking enemies have no effect on me. It's not gonna do me any good. But let me show you what happens. So if you're next to a base, and there's a couple bases you will need to infiltrate, or you want to take out, and you want to see who you're shooting at first. If you're going in, you see you're being jammed.
Can't see squat.
If you stay in the jammed location for too long, it's gonna basically return your drone, because you just cannot get through the jamming, which is fair enough. So the closer I go, let's say, I'm gonna lose the signal and the drone is gonna be returned to me. So what do? Very simple. You can still use your drone from a distance. You find where the jamming border is.
Signal's all bad. They're jamming the drone.
Back up a little bit. Zoom in. Tag whoever you need to tag. If you're playing, if you have opened any kind of rebel assistance, you can still use spotting to the point where you can spot most of the base, or at least you can do it in portions. Sometimes it's gonna be closer, sometimes it's gonna be further down. But basically you can just start with one spot, find whichever you can actually get that gives you the maximum coverage of the base. Do that, boom, you have at least the first portion of the base done, and hopefully you will actually see where the jammer is as well. Some bases are on such a flat level and you are unable to get high ground to actually see what's going on. At least this is gonna give you a bit more option. I would say when it comes to jamming, going backwards and then high up as much as your range allows is gonna actually give you a way better overview of whatever you're doing. So when it comes to the drone skills, you can see there's the mark area perk you can max out, and also you have the zoom option, and well, obviously it's the range and the battery. So once you get that, you have unlimited battery and your range is gonna be much further away, which is again plus zoom. You see where I'm going with this. Second of all, what people forget is if you start playing on extreme difficulties, you need to know your bases, right? You need to understand how the game mechanics work. And what people do not understand is, first and foremost, they try to go for these extra long sniping shots. In all honesty, that is only for you to have fun and it looks cool. On higher difficulty, it's only gonna annoy the enemies to the point where they're gonna start spawning enemies on your location if you get detected. So the drawing distance for this game roughly is about 650 meters. So if I would like, let's say, want to see anyone here, as you can see there's no one there. But I know that this particular place, like there's a sniper up here that we do not see. And there's at least 3 guys walking around. So there's one of them. Second one, third one. They're just drawn in. They literally just got drawn in because we're still within the 650-ish meter range. At the same time, they were not there before. So when it comes to cleaning out the bases, you kind of have to understand the golden rule of Wildlands. Distance of your sound. So when it comes to general sound, I would say your best bet is pistol with silencer. Good for about, I would say, 10 to 15 meters, right? There's no difference between the caliber of the pistol as long as it's suppressed. If it's not suppressed, depends on the caliber again. So if it's a .45 or it's a Desert Eagle or Jackdaw, obviously it's going to be much higher. But I would say unsuppressed will go 50% more. So suppressed 50 meters, unsuppressed 30 meters. Assault rifles, however, have a different measurement unit, which in all honesty is roughly, I would say it starts suppressed at 35 meters, unsuppressed goes up to 60. And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people that I've noticed and I watched on Twitch, they went into the base with the assault rifle equipped and they started shooting at enemies, and the enemy heard the shot and they got suspected and then they got hunted and they were like, oh, this is ridiculous. Now, we don't have multiple ammo types in Wildlands, nor we have in Breakpoint. Surprise, surprise. So, basically it kind of makes sense. You cannot choose between a subsonic and your regular rounds. And even then, depends again on the type of suppressor you use, the manufacturer, and yada yada yada. So, the golden rule of Wildlands is 150 meters is where everyone can hear you when you shoot your gun unsuppressed as a maximum distance, right? So even if you shoot a 50 cal 150 meters away from an enemy, I would rather say 151, they are not gonna hear you, they're not gonna suspect you, they're gonna be like, whatever. And this is, I would say, it is very rarely, again, unless you're having fun, you're gonna be shooting at someone with a sniper rifle for more than 200 meters away. And there is a reason why. Reason being, as we know in Wildlands, and this is a very big thing you guys need to take into account, is the suppressor. So, first and foremost, we do have advanced suppressor. So, as you see, it apparently removes the damage reduction of the suppressors. But that's not all it does. It also, actually, the suppressor itself puts this game in a little bit of a slow mode. So let's say we want to shoot this dish here, right? So let me just quickly arrange it so I actually hit it, 396. So let's count how long it takes suppressed HDI Desert Tech, which I think, well, it's not exactly maxed out yet, but it's on level 20. So good enough. How long for the round it takes to hit this dish? 1, 2. So with me counting slow, I would say 1.5 seconds. So if I remove the suppressor, look how long it's gonna take for the bullet to hit the dish. 1. See where I'm going with this? Without suppressor, the bullet velocity is increased. So if you are, for whatever purpose, outside of 150 meters, shooting with a suppressor, you need to account for this additional bullet velocity reduction. That's gonna make your round fly at slower speeds, hitting later. So you need to lead your target much more and then hope you actually gonna hit it. In all honesty, it's much more easier to get your range and your skill based on shooting without a suppressor, because if I'm here, I know that I'm way outside of their detection radius. Let's say it's 398 meters, so we're like 400 meters. Let me just annoy this guy real quick. Let's see what happens. So he ran away somewhere. Great. Taking fire, get to cover. So he knows he's taking fire. He doesn't know from where. I'm way outside of the detection radius. They haven't spotted me, they don't know where I am, but they know that apparently someone is hitting them, whatever, you know, like, not gonna go into technicalities of that. So at this point, you can chill. They're not gonna find you. The problem starts when the sniper detects you. So the next point is aggroed state or the usual state. So there's quite a few misconceptions going around this game when it comes to efficiency of the weapons. And the main two guns, I would say 3 guns, is the AUG, which I have, and I took it on purpose to test it out, and honestly it is pretty bad for my playstyle. It's not a bad gun, but it's bad for my playstyle, because it only depends on the trigger type you have. You only have semi, full auto, or semi and 3 rounds in a like a burst fire mode, which doesn't really work for me. I would say the single and burst is the best for close encounters. Single full is better for if you're going like very stealthily and you're just going for headshots only. It's very good, very low recoil. So my setup actually has a long range barrel and my favorite scope, which is an M4. I just love that optics. It's just so good for me. And that's about it. So as you can see, it's almost maxed out, give or take, but you know, I just like it, and the stats doesn't really matter in this game anyway. So once you picked up your favorite gun, I would say play with your guns as you want. Don't hunt, chase the best guns of Wildlands, okay? And the reason I'm telling you that, so people go like, oh, you need to get HDI at the very beginning of the game. Some people will tell you get the 50 cal BFG. I'm gonna tell you, go and find yourself a jungle SR25. It's very easy. Well, once you get it actually. And you've seen me using it. So this is the broken gun of Wildlands. Not only it's pinpoint accurate for up to 250 meters, it's gonna be on the dot. It is one shot kill. You don't even need your skill for destroying everything that is actually moving, which hold your horses, where is it? Is it for the weapon? Yes, vehicle destruction. You don't even need this perk. You don't need it to be maxed out. It just kills everything up. It's stupid. There's so many broken guns in Wildlands actually. SR25 definitely is not even on the top of the list. We're talking about the super shorty. We're talking about the 9mm stand gun or the submachine gun, which is just insane. It actually kicks better than P90. And you know, the list goes on. Take the gun you want, play with the gun you like. The only thing you should be accounting for is the recoil. So for my current setup, which is the AUG, the recoil is just ridiculous. I honestly hate it. So let's test single fire here. As you can see, the grouping is pretty decent. If I go full auto, that's like AK-47 stuff. So I'm only limited, and my playstyle is for single fire because I know where the enemies are. And this is the biggest takeaway for those who are starting to play no HUD extreme or no HUD full stop. Learn your bases. So when it comes to enemies in general, the way things in Wildlands work, if you shoot and you kill an enemy, hopefully, the enemies despawn. You cannot pick up the bodies. This is not Splinter Cell, this is not Hitman. If you kill an enemy, his body is gonna be there for roughly half a minute to a minute, and then it's gonna despawn. So let's see if we can nail this guy or any of these who's on an flat surface and no one's around. So the reason for the despawn wait is if you take out the snipers, which should be your first priority due to the detection range, you need to really pick where the next guy you are shooting is going to be. If you miss the guy, the round will hit the surface and the nearby guards will hear it. They're gonna get suspicious, and on higher levels they're gonna start hunting you. If you nail the guy and he dies and nobody sees him for roughly half a minute, the body will despawn, the weapon will be on the floor, but no one's gonna raise an alarm about it, and that is the most important thing. Let's see if we can nail this guy. So we can see him lying over there, right? So you're gonna see that he actually despawns, and by the time I do believe this guy actually makes his way over, there's gonna be nobody. So let's just chill out here, count the time, and talk about the weather or something, because usually that's how it works. But looks like he's gonna be there before the half a minute or a minute is over. So he might actually notice it. Yeah, looks like he won't. Or probably he will. Place your bets, gentlemen. Yep, he noticed it. So he sees the dead body. So we're gonna be here. So you can see clearly these black things. So this is the NPC's body there. We're gonna see how long it's gonna be there, because it will go away. So it's pointless to just watch for it. So what we can do in general is just clean up the house. And there you have it. All units go in, commence the assault. So what that means is, on highest difficulties, the enemies will actually know where you are once they have confirmed that they're under attack. They're gonna spawn someone next to me. Now, my spot that I usually take is a rather sneaky one. So there's a couple sneaky spots around every single location. So even if the enemy spawns the patrol over here, they're gonna have very hard time seeing me. Not because of the line of sight, but because of the elevation and the texture of the game. Now, I'm not saying you have to learn the coding and how it all works so you are safe, but once they zero you in, they're gonna know where you are. They're gonna spawn a patrol next to you, and they're gonna run down to your last known location. They're gonna wreck you. And this is something people are forgetting. You need to break line of sight at least, I would say, for half a minute. At least for them to lose track of you. There are some very good tips and tricks you can do to avoid detection, even at point blank range, which would be hiding in the bushes. If you are inside the bush, like a rather big bush, not a chunk of grass, the enemies will see the bush, but they won't be able to detect you. But they will still know that someone's inside that bush. It's exactly as I showed you on my cheesing the tier 1 cheating mode video, where they don't see you, but they still kinda know you're there. So it's a very bad spot really to be, because you still need to engage with them. And technically you can, but if you're fighting Unidad, they're just gonna spawn more patrols in, more reinforcements in. It's a never-ending loop. So try not to get trapped in such situation. So it looks like these guys are actually not doing too much to find me, which is good for me right now. So what is the next thing I want to talk about? Generators in general. So what the game leads you to believe is that you need to have a generator always disabled so the lights go out and stuff like that. Not true. What you actually need is a drone, and an EMP one. So EMP drones, I haven't seen anyone on Twitch using an EMP drone, and honestly this is the most underrated drone there actually is. Obviously if you're playing co-op, medic drone is going to be your default loadout probably. Noisemaker is kind of useless because on higher difficulties it just makes them very suspicious and they start hunting. Explosive drone is very good for tier 1 point farming, for areas where there's no drone jammers. You can just go in, blow the guy up like in a church in Espiritu Santo and stuff like this. Fair enough, but EMP drone is going to be your best friend for taking out convoys on tier 1 mode, because if you want to get the maximum amount of tier points, you need to have that convoy undamaged. So what you can do is actually lay down a trap, go on your long sniping distance if you want, send an EMP drone 150, 200 meters forward, blow it up, and there you go. So let me just show you how this works when it comes to the drone. We're done with this base anyway. And the reason I'm actually even making this video is there is very simple things you kind of need to remember about this game. This game is full of things that will annoy you. I mean, this game gets under my skin so much. I reinstall it and I uninstall it within 2 days. Like, I just go in, something stupid happens and they go like, screw this. But once you learn to play the mechanic, you will be at least, you know, maybe a little bit more happier about things in general. So there's a car coming right down the road. We're still jammed.
Fucked up. They're jamming us.
They're taking the jammer out, I think. Let's quickly just get into the mountain range. And get rid of it if we can. Using my own advice.
Squat. My drone's being jammed.
It's a close second, get a mortar strike over here. Well, that's not good. Guess I'll need to shoot it or just run away, because then again. So shooting the antenna itself, by the way, so this is also a pro tip. Shooting the antenna will not actually disable the jammer, you need to hit the body of it. So I need to get a little bit of a high ground here. So I learned this the hard way, and I'm just trying to spare you some of the pain and misery. So there we go. So now we can go to our basic routine operating here. So we have a couple cars coming down the road. Let's say one of them has the VIP in it. I have an EMP drone equipped. I'm sending the drone forward. You set it down and you blow it. The EMP drone disables the car. So what you can do now, equip your flashbang if it's a VIP, if it's a lieutenant, if it's someone you actually need to interrogate. Go in, grab him, toss the flashbang, deal with whoever is, you know, dealing with that guy, and you're good to go. And the car managed to despawn. Like, how cool is that in this game, like, honestly? Okay, let's do it again. I know, the EMP is still recharging. And here I wanted to show you the perfect example. Now, what I haven't tried is actually using an EMP on an airplane, which might be a challenge. But it might actually work, to be honest. I don't see why not. All of those things are still powered by electricity, so... Oh, we're detecting Unidad through the grass and stuff. Anyway, I see... There's a guy with a motorbike, and he's right in our vision, so let's just EMP this dude. He'll never gonna see this coming. That kind of didn't really work out as I wanted, but you kind of saw the car, really. So you're gonna quickly just get down to something that is still moving a little bit faster. So you can see that this works. At least it works for convoys 100%. I'm not sure why I'm having such a hard time stopping a motorbike. Maybe they have a different value, God knows. Never actually needed to stop a motorbike, to be in all fairness. Charged? Yes. So here we have the VIP we can interrogate. Boom. Car stops. It doesn't. That is interesting. Kind of wanted to EMP that chopper. Anyway, you kind of get the idea of what to do, and yeah, I'm not sure about the CMP stuff anymore, because I did this before I started the video just to make sure that it works the way it does, and miraculously the car either despawned or it just kept on driving. And you can see this, people are just playing with EMP drones, at least the tier 1 mode people are playing with the drones and it works, so I don't know, maybe just bad luck or whatever. But yeah, anything else I would rather say is kind of down to your own experience and your playstyle. But apart from this EMP fail, which I'm not willing to accept, maybe it's because I'm too close to the cars. Hold up. You know what? I'm not gonna take this as an answer. I'm gonna throw some motivational grenades because G is right next to H and H is for holster weapons. We're gonna go and get ourselves a car. Maybe the car was just outside of the EMP range, I'm pretty sure it was. Here's a good target. Come here. I knew it works. So obviously the EMP effect will wear off, and once it does the car will speed off like there's no tomorrow. But it's just to redeem myself that I'm not making stuff up. Just so you guys can fail. Wow, rude. So in all honesty, EMP effect usually is much less than you would expect, so I'm kinda impressed that it still plagues that car. Maybe there's a difference how long it takes, but yeah. You have a limited window of opportunity, but if you can use it, as you can see, it works. It just works, okay? Like Apple brand. Hopefully Apple will not sue me for this now. And yeah, I guess this is all there is. Anyway, I hope you found this video a little bit more informative, and please do get back into Wildlands, play it, and stream on Twitch, and do it on a manner where I don't have to install the game just to make a video because people are playing Wildlands like it's a PUBG and then they say the game sucks, which, you know, 50-50, but hey, we're professionals here. Yep. That's how it is. Anyway, on this bombshell, I'm gonna end. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Over and out.